Alrighty, it is time to start playing with the silver car again. The drift car is getting put off to the side now for a while. The drift event is over. It survived. That all went absolutely amazing. So it is time to put all of our focus back into getting this ready for October 18th for Road America. So got to start cracking along on this. We've since gotten our new tires on. I've repaired the one rim that was cracked. These tires are absolutely awesome. Well, hello, Dirty's a duck. Yeah. He's better than the tires. But, got our new tires on, and I repaired the rim that was cracked, so that's all good to go. It's now time to reset the ride height on this car, because, well, these are a bigger tire than what I used to have. So, gotta raise it up, even though we definitely have a very, very nice aggressive stance on it right now, but gotta raise it up about ½ inch to an inch. I'm going to start off with a ½ inch, and if we have to go up an inch, we will, but just barely grazing fenders right now for how I have it set. It's roughly 2 degrees of camber all the way around, which all said and done, I think I want like 1.5 degrees in the rear, and the 2 degrees in the front is not bad. So see where we go. We're going to just keep playing around. I want to get also going to stiffen up the springs on it a little bit, put some more preload in them, and just see where that goes. Go for a drive afterwards, and yeah, hopefully get this thing in for an alignment here within the next week or so. And yeah, we have a car cruise that we're going to take it on this next weekend, so that'll be another good time to test her out. So let's start getting another base setup put in here and see how she feels. Well, we are back on the ground after raising it at a ½ inch all the way around, and wow, ½ inch really does a lot. So I think it's time to go take her for a drive. Haven't messed with tow or anything yet, but I just want to see if anything's going to rub in the rear. Take her for a drive, see how she does, go from there. So yeah, overall though, that ½ inch, like I said, she really does a lot. So let's go see how she feels. Also stiffened the front about another 1/8 inch from where it was, and I stiffened the rear about 3/8 of an inch. So see how that feels. Let's just go try it out. Feels really good so far. Absolutely no rubbing over the bumps. like slammed cars. Not necessarily slammed, but functional low. That's my favorite. So I gotta get this car back to the functional low with this wheel and tire setup. So it's gonna take a little bit of tweaking and playing around with, but right now it's really good. I just going through a bumpy section of road and it's not rubbing at all. So that's money. Gravel sign. Hopefully it's just on the shoulder here. Not that this road I'm on doesn't need redoing, but it's a good bumpy road to help settle out the springs and just find out if we got rub points. Oh look, there it is, gravel spots. Ah. Good thing here in northern Wisconsin we have no shortage of bumpy roads. Could be a bent rim. Who knows? Who knows where the other driver's side one ended up that was in line with the one that I cracked, because that one also had the same pothole. So that one might be in the front now. I'm not sure. So I'm going to do a recheck on the balance. Hopefully get rid of the shake in the steering wheel. And either way, go from there. Car feels really good though. Hopefully, like I said, we get back and the springs have settled out nicely and I don't have to be in my mind thinking, oh, I can go a little bit lower still. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Alright, well, I let my phone charge for a bit. I lowered it some more, made some ghetto toe plates for it, and did a toe set on the front. Definitely a lot better with that 1/4 inch lower in the rear. So see what else I can think about. Otherwise, I got to order brakes and a clutch for it, and we're going to start playing with making a good transmission for this car. So that's what we're going to be moving into over the next couple days for it. So
the next day.
Alrighty, well, starting off here in the shop for the first time in quite a while. Time to do some more work on our quest to Road America for the silver car. So got myself another specimen of a WRX 5-speed in here. So time to drain fluids on this. I got to pull the center diff apart on this one because the tail shaft has a lot of play, and this is why this transmission didn't go in the silver car when we rebuilt it last fall. So yeah, so I'll show you that quick. So this tail shaft has a nice little bit of play to it. So yeah, that's not ideal. So that's why this one didn't get put in the car last year, and I used my other one, and as we learned, my other one makes all kinds of noise if you didn't hear that in the last video. So yeah, we need to do something about that. So we're gonna make a couple transmissions into one here. So we're gonna pop the whole tail shaft housing out of here and see what we need to replace for that. So wish me luck. We're gonna jump into it and start getting this thing drained and get the tail housing off. So here we go. So, tail housing is all apart. Not looking too bad in here, but we do have a bad bearing for sure. Hopefully the camera can focus in on it. Yeah, this inner bearing on the tail shaft here is a little bit no bueno. So, gonna get some, see if I can find some part numbers and get some references and see if I can get those quickly. So, that should be all we need to make the tail, because the tail housing is all I could see that was bad in this. Everything else looks good. The fluid that came out of it was a little dark wherever I put it, over in the corner there. It's a little dark, but it's not bad. It's not the worst fluid I've ever seen. The drain plug didn't have metal chunks on it, so we're looking pretty good. So I'm going to see if I can find some races and some bearings to put on here, and we're going to get this thing slapped back together hopefully. So wish me luck. I'm going to go and do some research and figure out what we can do here.
The next day.
Well, another day here. I suppose we could start in here. Left off last night on the transmission. And as you remember, we got it all torn apart. Found some bad bearings on our output shaft, so was able to get these ordered today, so I should have those by the end of the week. Luckily my work is helping me out with those. We're ordering them straight through one of our vendors, so gonna be able to have those soon rather than ordering them in the mail and not sure if they're going to show up in time. So have those by the end of the week hopefully. So time to work on the car some more. And you might notice I got the rear end up on jack stands again, so I am just not happy with this rear fitment. Still getting slight rubbage out of it, and I just want to accomplish zero rubbing, so I'm going to do what I haven't wanted to do to this car, and I just need to accept the fact that when this car gets redone, it's getting new quarters, so what I do to the lip on these ones isn't entirely going to matter too much. So we are going to roll them. Do a slight roll on them. I'm not rubbing by much, and then I also want to make a bracket of sorts to help hold my bumper out, because that's also an issue. It's rubbing on the bumper too, because this side's held in a little bit. The other side did pretty good, where I tied it up, but I'm just not happy with that fitment. So we're gonna make brackets to hold the bumper properly because our rust has sadly gotten bad enough. And also I decided to be a cool kid and I cut the inside of here out because, you know, I like being nice and low, and that gave me better fitment for my old tire setup. So, you know, we're just working off of things that we've done here. So I'm gonna roll them slightly, give ourselves a slightly more aggressive quarter on it, and see what we can accomplish. So let's give her a shot, get the wheels off of it, and start playing around. Alright, got the wheels off. Got the fender roller on the one side, but I'm gonna have to raise the car up. That's the one thing about dealing with this. You definitely gotta get the car set up. Right now where it's at full angle right here, it's sweeping the hole, not even touching the lips. So gonna have to raise the coilover up, so get that done and we'll start rolling. Well, my ugly rear quarters are now rolled, so hopefully that'll help gain us some more clearance back here. Now we're going to go through, I want to make some tabs, even if I just have to self-tapper them up on the inside. I need something to hold this bumper out, to hold that body line, because that's another one of the things that is kind of messing up our fitment. Our bumper's dragging on the tires slightly, and this side, how it's zip tied, is actually pulled in even before I rolled it, so that was not helping either. So see what I can figure out for making a couple quick brackets.
A few moments later.
Go on through there, these dog. So ended up got it sitting a lot better now. Ended up just making a little bracket. Oh, there we go. Thought I switched the camera around on accident, but got a crude little bracket here. Top one secures it, bottom one kind of is pulling it for an adjustment in and out, and then I'm using one of the rear holes over here to mount it. So that works out pretty good. I didn't make one for the other side yet just because this one is sitting pretty good and is secure, so we're gonna just leave it and see what happens, hope for the best. So I'm gonna get the coilovers reset to the right height that we want them. Gonna even go a little bit lower now that we got some rollage in the fenders, and hope that we can pull off the look we want. So let's get her back on the ground. Back on the ground, out of the garage. What do you think there, D's dog? How's it look? Yeah, it looks real good, don't it, buddy? All right. Definitely rolling was a good idea. It is way more accepting of the rim and tire setup now. Before it had slight poke on it. Now it is like perfectly flush, so heck yeah. Very sad about all my paint though. Please ignore that. This car is in desperate need of rear quarter repair because it's just such a beautiful car.